Romeo, Lavia, and MOISES CAICEDO are the transfers that we are talking about. Arsenal targets, big Arsenal targets that we are talking about right about here at the Arsenal chapter. And we already know that Arsenal has already had a few football players like Kai Havertz, also Urian Timber, plus Declan Rice. And we've got a lot to talk about today. Hello everyone, and thank you for being part of the Arsenal chapter. And please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as it is sport and as long as it is Arsenal related, right about here at the Arsenal chapter with me, your very host, Abu Carls, as I bring to you Arsenal news, transfer news, the latest. We do watch alongs, everything about the club Arsenal. You can always get it right about here. So a lot of people have been asking me about Romeo Lavia and MOISES CAICEDO, and I've really decided to come and talk about these transfers really. So let's get the party started. So, let's start with let's first talk about anyway the football players who are in before we talk about any other thing. Arsenal has already signed 3 football players. One of them being Kai Havertz, who goes to the club Arsenal from Chelsea at a fee of £65 million. Then the second player that joined Arsenal is Urian Timber, who moves to Arsenal from Ajax Amsterdam at a transfer fee of £38.5 million. And then Declan Rice, who moves from West Ham United to Arsenal at a fee of £105 million. That's quite a lot of money, I must say. It's big money, but he is worth the money really. And Arsenal have already spent more than 250, is it? Because when you see is it more than 250? Let's see, 65 for Kai Havertz, and then I'm getting 65 for Kai Havertz, then apart from Kai Havertz, 65 Kai Havertz, then the other football player whom do we have? Urian Timber 35. And then apart from Urian, that's something like 100, okay? Then we've got 105. It's really something next to it's more than 100, 200 pound that has been spent by Arsenal already, and Arsenal is still looking at getting more football players, and that's quite great. I've got a bit of an update here from Fabrizio Romano. Let me check what Fabrizio Romano is saying. Just a current update. Oh, okay. Where did I see that? Oh, is it on Facebook? Oh, let me see. I want to give you the latest, so I've got to make a bit of research. I don't know. Shouldn't be making research now, but got something from Kai. Everything is there is no. Anyway, let's get the party rolling really, as we are talking about MOISES CAICEDO and also talking about Romeo Lavia. So Romeo Lavia, I will remember that is a very good one. He's a very good football player. And he's a Southampton football player who's been playing for Southampton for a while, and went to Southampton from Manchester City, and he's been looking at a move away from the club Southampton because Southampton moved to relegation, and Romeo Lavia is not into being in a club that is really in relegation. So I can definitely confirm to you that Romeo Lavia is really moving, is very much into a move. However, a number of clubs are really interested in signing Romeo Lavia. Big clubs are interested in signing Romeo Lavia, so it's not going to be an easy thing for Arsenal, because Manchester United wants Romeo Lavia, Liverpool wants Romeo Lavia, but Mikel Arteta saying that he is very confident that he's going to sign the football player. He wants to sign the football player. He wants to make it a deal that is done, sealed, and confirmed. Really, I think it's going to be a bit tricky for the club Arsenal, but again, not only is it going to be tricky, but Arsenal, we all know that this time round, when Arsenal needs a football player, he puts in an effort to get that football player, and that's something that is quite good. And I'm really liking how Arsenal is doing its business this time round. It's not backing off on any transfers as long as it's interested. So already 3 football players in the club, and the club is really looking at getting more football players, and one of them being MOISES CAICEDO and then ROMEO LAVIA. So there is big competition for ROMEO LAVIA, but Arsenal is preparing to get into this deal. He wants to make sure that they can land the football player. And then do not forget that yet another football player that is making the news really and has been linked to the club Arsenal is none other than who's that? MOISES CAICEDO from Brighton and Hove. Will be remembered that MOISES CAICEDO's transfer value on the transfer market has been put to £100 million, and that could see Arsenal transfer budget stretched to £300 million plus. So let's anyway, what we are getting is that MOISES CAICEDO is very much into a move away from Brighton and Hove. And you remember that Arsenal wanted to buy MOISES CAICEDO in the summer transfer window, last January transfer window, but for some reason it didn't happen. At the last moment, when Arsenal had put in everything, Brighton and Hove really come out and say that they are not selling the football player, and that's how Arsenal missed out on ROMEO LAVIA, who is a very good defensive midfielder, one of the best defensive midfielders in the Premier League. So it's going to be a brilliant one. It's going to be quite great for the club Arsenal, and let's hope things really move on quite well and very well really for the club Arsenal. However, having said that, really, let's wait and see how things will really run when it comes to this transfer, as the club Arsenal is looking at reinforcements with 3 football players already in. Arsenal is still saying that they need more football players. They need 2 football players, and there is a big possibility that Arsenal could also get another striker as from different sources. Right about now, the midfield is what the current manager has been focusing on, midfield section, and that's where we're seeing Kai Havertz and Declan Rice plus a good defender, and that's Urian Timber. So if the pair really gets to Arsenal, I think that will be great news. Otherwise, thank you for being part of the Arsenal chapter, and please subscribe and ring that notification bell. Thank you and goodbye for now.